Hey, what's up? My name's Lucas. I'm a photographer and filmmaker based out of West Michigan. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm sharing my favorite photos from 2025. 2025 was a year of waiting for me. There was a lot of downtime, a lot of spending intentional time with my family, waiting for the birth of my third child. And then once he came, it was a lot of being at home and spending time with them. So I didn't take as many photos. I didn't go on as many trips this year, but I wanted to share some of the photos. I did go on one trip, and we will kick things off with that. It was a work trip with two of my best friends. And this first photo was at Lost Dutchman State Park, and I love it. It was one of the first photos that I took on the trip. And this one was just, for me, the rental car that we had was parked facing here, and I really maxed out the capacity of the SL2S. Shot at 25,000 ISO, 1 second, without a tripod, just handheld, but it kind of gives it that painterly vibe. Now, this was on a scouting trip when we were looking for places to film for the project that we were shooting, and I loved the road, the kind of winding S road, and then this truck with hauling a boat drove by, and I was able to get that. And I feel like even though you don't see any boats on the actual lake, it just tells a nice story. More Roosevelt Lake. We were driving the same night. We're driving around, scouting locations, and we come across this boat, I guess. I guess it's a boat. Maybe a ferry. Would you call that a ferry? It was placed in the middle of this empty parking lot with the mountains behind it, and immediately ran to it, and we were taking photos of it because it was sick. Here is one of my coworkers' best friends, and we were having lunch at a restaurant, and he's just sitting there deep in thought. That project had a lot of what we called escape rooms that we were trying to escape out of to try to figure out how we were going to do this. So this is him in one of those escape rooms. And one of those escape rooms was, how are we going to get a boat to Roosevelt Lake? So we were staying in Phoenix, and then we were filming the majority of it in Roosevelt Lake. We had a rental car, so we couldn't have a hitch. And so we found this boat on Facebook Marketplace because it fit the vibe of what we wanted. And we rented a box truck and loaded actually 2 boats up into that box truck and drove it out on the 2-3 hour drive to Roosevelt Lake. Got some more Roosevelt Lake, just sunrise, beautiful mornings. This one was shot on my Leica M6. And I just loved the way that the water rippled that morning with the light reflecting off of it, and just wanted to emphasize the lake. You know, I'm a lake guy. I'm from the Midwest. I live on Lake Michigan. Love a good lake. And then we've got some more Lost Dutchman. This was also shot on my Leica M6, scanned with the SL2. And I love the saguaro cactus that's popping up in the corner of the frame. Huge fan of cactuses. That's why I have it tattooed on my arm. Back to Roosevelt Lake, that kind of iconic bridge that's out there. Just wanted to get at least a shot of it. I don't know if this is a good shot of it, but it is a shot of Roosevelt Bridge. So that's the trip to Phoenix for work. The rest of this stuff is really going to be in West Michigan. So this I shot on my 4x5 camera. I was just driving around trying to find unique compositions and was really excited about this one. I love the way that the trailer outlines the front end of the truck. We've got my son, Canyon. He's now my second, but, well, he was always my second, you know? Still figuring that out. But one day, just feeling really sad, didn't feel very well, and had this like big crocodile tear. And so I wanted to photograph that, shot this with my Leica SL2 and the Leica R 80mm lens. And I'm pretty sure this is wide open. And yeah, love this photo. Fun fact, that Mickey sweatshirt that he has on used to be mine. Now it's his, and it's his favorite sweatshirt. It's actually really difficult to get him to wear something different. Well, I guess he likes to wear his Lions hoodie too. Another huge theme this year was that the houses directly behind us got demolished. Canyon is 3 now, but he's obsessed with construction. So we spent so many days going and watching them demolish these houses, build the new stuff that's in their place, and he was just loving it. So this photo was on the first day that they started demolishing stuff, and he was just driving in his little Tykes car in the back and trying to get the best view of them destroying this home that was behind us. Before they demolished these houses, they sat kind of vacant for a while. They demolished one of them, and then there were 2 more that needed to be demolished. And they became really interesting things for me to capture because they were going to be gone like any day. I didn't know when. And so these pictures were taken on my Leica M6 on black and white film, HP5 push 2 stops. This one of the couch in the living room, I absolutely love. The light shedding in, just the debris all around it, the fireplace, which I did get another photo of that fireplace when everything else was destroyed around it. And yeah, just everything about this photo, I really, really like. Here's the other house. Again, you've got the debris, you've got the blown out windows. This is through the window, so you're kind of getting a perspective of an outside observer. And yeah, it was weird to sit there and think about the families that had lived there, and now the houses are just gone. So here's that fireplace from the couch photo as one of the lone surviving things of that house. Now, obviously, it's gone, but the image of all the debris of the rest of the home crumbling around it and the fireplace standing tall was quite unique and something that I hadn't seen before because I don't demolish houses. And this photo of this house, I'm on my way home from winter camp and just saw this house, had my Leica M6 with me and knew I had to photograph it. Again, finally had some light and just loved the way that it looked. As things began to warm up, we went camping with my in-laws, and I love this photo of my daughter standing in front of the fire. I wish I could have gotten a little bit more of the fire in with it, but yeah, this was shot with my Leica SL2S, which is my favorite like digital camera that I have. I just like the way she has her arms folded, the way she's looking, the way the light's coming through the smoke from the fire and through her hair. Another kind of theme in my work was kind of just pulling off the side of the road and looking and taking photos. I love this picture, again, how it's framed by the trees. You see the light coming through. There's just this bicycle in the middle of the frame, shot on my SL2. And if you like the way that these photos are edited, they're all edited. All the digital photos are edited with my Field Essentials presets. So click the link down below if you want to pick them up. I edit all of my work with them. Here's another photo from that same morning, and I just love the bloom of the flowers in that bush with the field that is ready for crops to grow in it. A big theme for me, I think this is the only one that I put in my favorite photos of the year, but was shooting alleyways. I know, really, really original. These alleyways were all in downtown Grand Haven, finding these interesting alleyways and then people stacking things up in them, like this body piece of a car that's red. I love that. Again, on more walks, I've got there's this house that's on our walking route that the garage is sunken in, and I love it. I think it's so interesting. I love the shape of the house. It, like, as a former skateboarder, I think about riding down that. I don't know. The structural integrity of this home is very questionable, but I just love this. I love the tree over top of the frame that kind of falls into black, that really like compresses the image, makes it feel like it's being pressed down upon. And I think that matches the image really well with what's happening in it. And then here's from another camping trip, just a river, just a pretty river. One of my all-time favorite photos of this year was this picture of Canyon in a red inflatable boat with blue accents all around it. To those primary colors, this one's heavy blue. It just works. I love the storm in the background. I don't know, not much more to say about it. Just, I love this photo. And then here's a guy biking on the pier. Just a classic street photo shot on the pier. This one was in October. I will say it was a nice night. The water was freezing, and these swimmers just kind of show up and go for a swim in Lake Michigan. And I'm like, well, more power to you. But I took this with my Mini Lux, and I had Phoenix 2 in it. And yeah, it just kind of worked. The right place, right time for that one. This guy sitting on his boat. Classic scene in Grand Haven. Lots of boats around here. Lots of people sitting on their boats and spending a lot of time on their boats. But again, primary colors. Here's the hospital bed that Samantha was in. And we just had those two lights on over top. And it was just, this to me is a beautiful scene. And we had the ultrasound photos there as just a reminder of what all of this is for, that we will meet this baby son, Samantha holding Archer in that same hospital bed. And we'll jump into more personal stuff here. This was while I was testing the Leica SL3 with the 75 millimeter Apo Summicron lens. And this picture, I feel like, will be one that I will love for the rest of my life. It just kind of captures Canyon with some of his favorite clothes. Asked him to growl at me. He did a great job. Archer, this is a fun one because this year, I'm going to talk about the gear that I picked up in 2025, but I got to wait for some more gear to show up so that I can film it and talk about the future of what's going on. But Archer with the Light Lens Lab M to L adapter that allows you to do close focus. I love this photo of Canyon up in a playhouse and just looking down. And so at the end of the year, Canyon had 2 surgeries for a hernia. And this is my portrait of him with his belly button. Well, it still was kind of blue and bruised and healing. And this might be my favorite photo of 2025. And it's my dad holding Archer while we were celebrating Christmas. Shot this with my Leica M6 with the 28 Summicron and flash. And yeah, I love it. The composition, the slight Dutch angle, both of them looking in separate directions with similar expressions, with the light source coming from the same direction. It's obviously flash, but it kind of gives you that plausible believability. Yeah, I like this photo a lot. Those are my favorite photos of 2025. Let me know if you had a favorite, and if you like the way that they're edited and the way that they look, please check out my presets or my LUTs down below. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.